I want to live in a world where the guy who created Thanos is treated, almost as well as the Hollywood actor who's going to portray Thanos in the movie. That's what I'm looking for. Hey, welcome to Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. A bunch of people are asking me to comment on this story. Yeah, it's not something I would ordinarily comment on. I don't like to comment about other people's comic book news, but I don't know. I mean, I might have something to say about this because it kind of applies to everyone, all creators. It's Hollywood Reporter here. Thanos creator cuts ties with Marvel Comics after clashing with editor. This cutting ties with Marvel Comics is a big deal, just because you're clashing with a single editor. Let's find out why this is going on. I am moving on, says Jim Starlin, who is penning a trilogy of graphic novels. That's a lot of work. Ahead of the character's time in the cinematic spotlight in next year's Avengers Infinity War, the creator of Thanos has once again publicly fallen out with Marvel, or at least Marvel's comic book arm. Okay. I don't know Jim Starlin very well. I played volleyball with him once or twice in upstate New York, and he's fiercely competitive, and he doesn't take nonsense. That's if I had one impression of Jim Starlin, just from knowing him or meeting him a few times, that would be what I would say. He's not going to tolerate goofballery or nonsense, so this doesn't surprise me. Writing on Facebook, Jim Starlin, whose upcoming graphic novel Thanos: The Infinity Siblings remains set for a February 2018 release, okay, so it's pretty much already done, and was intended to launch a trilogy for Marvel, said, quote, "What I objected to and what will keep me from doing any further work for Marvel editorial was executive editor, Tom Brevoort, approving a plot for the current ongoing Thanos series, which was pretty much the same as the Thanos story in graphic novel trilogy Alan Davis and I have been working on for Tom for close to the past year. He had 200 pages of script and 100 pages of pencils on this project when he gave the green light to a strikingly similar plot. The ongoing will be in print before the graphic novel trilogy. To avoid spoiling anyone's enjoyment of these two stories, I will not be summarizing the striking similarities." Okay, so he's not going to tell us where he feels the, it's almost... All right, look, here's the thing. This is very, very strange, but it has happened before. I know of another creator who pitched a Spider-Man story, and that story wasn't approved. It was actually declined, and then that same editor had another creative team working on a story very similar to the story that was pitched by this creator, and it didn't end well for that editor. I've had my difficulties at Marvel years and years and years ago. I did work with Tom Brevoort once on that very same book. If you go back and listen to Marvel Days #1, the first video I did about my time at Marvel, I talk about creating X-23. And X-23, my version of the character that became X-23, appeared in a book called The Remnants, was edited by Tom Brevoort. And I don't know, he was pleasant, but snarky at the same time. I hate to say that, but I sensed some immaturity in the way he dealt with that situation. I took that job and I was about to sign with DC to do Impulse. I guess I couldn't finish the book in time, so I turned in pencils. I was penciling and inking the book, and I think like half of the book had to be inked by other inkers other than me, in order to make the deadline and see print. And Tom Brevoort in the credits credited those inkers as the Van Sciver Bailout Brigade, which I thought was rude, and kind of snarky. But anyway, that's my only experience with Tom Brevoort, and so I kind of, reading this, I kind of have a sense of what's going on here. He went on. At first, Tom denied giving his approval to the plot. Well, when that actually turned out to be false, okay, so we caught him in a lie. He switched to claiming that there was nothing similar about the two plots. When that didn't fly, he changed his story to "it was all an accident." These changes of excuse and other bits of procrastination ate up a month, by which time the current Thanos ongoing art team was far too far along for anything to be done about the situation. Too bad for me, so I am moving on. Got it. Okay. According to Starlin, he had lobbied heavily to write the monthly Thanos comic book, but Marvel's comic book division just made it clear they weren't interested in using me on any of the tie-in series to the movies or regular series. By contrast, he said, the movie division has treated me very well and generously. Them I like. Oh, all right. This is just the latest development in a contentious relationship between the veteran creator and Marvel. In 2012, when the first Avengers movie revealed Thanos in a post-credit sequence, he complained about the lack of financial compensation by Marvel before coming to an agreement with the company that included the creation of new comic book work. What? As recently as January this year, however, he publicly shared that he made more money from Warner Brothers' Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice than from all of the Marvel Studios projects featuring his characters combined. And he has created quite a few characters, so that is shocking to me. Okay, so what do I think of this? I think that Marvel has very few villains that are more well-liked than Thanos. Very few. And especially very few that were created by creative talent that is still working today, still active. I mean, of course, you have all the Stan, Jack, and Steve Ditko characters of the 1960s. We would love to be treating those people well, but Jack Kirby is no longer with us. Stan Lee is no longer an active writer, and Steve Ditko is kind of reclusive. But here you have the man who created Thanos. And Thanos is going to be a big, big character. He's a very appealing villain. He's been cast with a big-name actor, I believe, playing the role. I think so. You guys are going to have to correct me about that. But I think it's... he does have... I can't remember the actor's name who's playing him. I'm going to look that up real quick. That's why I have 800 iPads on my desk. But this is a big character, and you've got this guy who created this character for you, and he is active and he is working for you, and there's a chance. Josh Brolin, that's exactly who I thought it was going to be, and I couldn't remember his name. So Josh Brolin is playing this character. He's a big star. You've got this guy who's working for you. He wants to produce more work for you. God only knows he's capable of creating more characters that are as big as Thanos, possibly, or these characters that are in Guardians of the Galaxy. Why? Why do this? Why treat him this way? This could have been anything. I mean, the idea of a plot similarity happening between two creative teams, it sounds like Jim had his thing way ahead of time, and then I don't know. I mean, this could have just been, short-sightedness or forgetfulness on the part of Tom Brevoort. But in any case, it should have been corrected right away, showing deference to the creator of Thanos. And I think everyone would hope that that's how Jim Starlin would be treated by Marvel Comics. And it's upsetting to see that he wasn't, and that he has chosen to leave Marvel Comics. Now, as for this paragraph down below, complaining about the lack of financial compensation by Marvel, I'm here to tell you. I had one character appear in a Marvel movie that I owned stock, quote unquote, in, and that was Angel in X-Men First Class. I did receive a check for that, and it was grocery money. On the other hand, I had some characters appear in the Batman Lego 3 video game, and that was money that could have bought me a boat. So, I hear you. I don't know what it is. I don't know why royalties are so lax at Marvel. I don't get it. Yeah, their compensation is not on par with DC Comics. It only makes sense for a creator like Jim Starlin to come work for DC Comics if money was the only thing that he was interested in. But apparently money is not what he's interested in. Money, it's not about money, it's about raising your children. And this is his child, and he wants to do more with this character. And this is too bad. So I can relate to this. I understand where he's coming from. And I hope that this can be worked out. But you're dealing with an editor who's pretty powerful here, and this editor right here has a lot more sway than the man who created the villain, the very inspired villain that is going to rock movie theaters and become an icon this year in the new Avengers movie. And that's that might be an equation that needs some rethinking. I'd like to see more power in this man's hands. All right, so those are my thoughts. Yeah, I'm glad the movie division is treating Jim Starlin well. They appreciate. I mean, isn't that interesting? I don't think the movie division. I mean, it would be impossible for the movie division to be as thoroughly into the comics world as the actual comics division, and yet they realize who he is and what he did, and that he's an extremely important creative person. They're treating him well and generously, and he likes them. And those are them I like. Those are big words coming from Jim Starlin. That's really cool. So, all right, look, I'm pro Jim Starlin. I hope he gets what's coming to him, and that is lots of money and respect. And I hope Marvel Comics corrects these embarrassing mistakes for all of our sakes. There you go. Bye.